Hello, hello, hello. What's good, everybody? It's Tuesday night, so you already know we've got to be going into something. And tonight we're going to be starting a brand new series. I've already watched it once. Fandom hasn't seen it yet. We're going to be going deep and down the rabbit hole into the Umbrella Academy. And the one, of course, we're doing it with the one, the only Fandom D Saint. What's good, brother?
Yo, DJ. Watching the first episode, I'm like, why didn't I watch this before when it came out the first time around? Watching the second episode, I'm like, okay, we getting somewhere. Then I'm like, hold on, let me put my brakes. If DJ doesn't message me, Tuesday night about watching this, then when I come to work after Wednesday, I'm pretty much gonna binge the rest of the season. But no, we're here. We talking about it. So 2 episodes a week now. 2 episodes a week.
There we go. At least it's not just one. We're going to get in two, so you get a little bit extra every week. But man, I'm telling you, it's like a cross between like Doom Patrol and like Legion or something. It's just crazy. It's wild.
Man, I'm saying it now. I don't care if it doesn't end up being this person who did it. Pongo did it. Pongo did it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Pongo did it.
He said, I'm blaming the butler monkey right out of the gate. That's just what it is. Oh, the monkey did it. That's so amazing. But we're going to be getting into it. The Umbrella Academy, Season 1, Episode 1. This one's called We Only See Each Other at Weddings and Funerals. And we open by a pool in Russia, and while water jazz is going on inside the pool, two young lovebirds are flirting outside of it. And I always thought they were kind of joking when they said you could get a girl pregnant just by kissing her.
I was like, when he like kissed her, I was like, okay, or she kissed him. Next thing you know, the pool is bleeding. I'm like, did she just like hit something? Next thing you know, she prego and giving birth.
That was just, you knew right out of the gate this series was just going to be a little bit crooked and off the wall. Like right out of the gate, you just had weird stuff going on. And it seems on the 12th hour of the first day in October 1989, 43 women around the globe gave birth, which was very odd, seeing as none of them were preggers when their day began. So right out of the gate, again, we know we're in for a weird one. And so, of course, there's an eccentric billionaire, Sir Reginald Hargraves, that decides to collect as many of the newborns that he could. And he was able to talk 7 mothers out of their babies. And with something as weird as that, like, I don't know, do you, like, you're not even pregnant, all of a sudden you're pregnant and giving birth in one day, like, would you have that tight connection, or do you think you'd feel compelled to raise that child, or you think they'd be more on the side of, hell yeah, let's get this money?
If it was like my situation, I would still raise it because it's like you birthed the thing, even though you weren't like ready for it. But then it's like I could see in some situations why it's like it's a tough time. They probably poor and whatnot. So it's like, but at the same time, you're really paying to give this kid away. Like, damn, that's I'm curious like how much like some of these mothers were like willing to accept the money because he was a billionaire. So it's like if they eventually find out like, oh, how much did my mom like receive, and is that's how much I'm worth to her and whatnot, like that was just crazy. But it's even more messed up, like and high key suspect. Like the moment this happened, this billionaire is like, I need to get them as much as I can. It's like, did you know it? Are you planning this?
Did he have prior knowledge? Exactly. That's kind of a weird thing. And how many of these women, I mean, what if some of these women were pregnant and their husband's away on a trip for the weekend? All of a sudden he comes back and you got a baby talking about you had birth. Like, you know what I mean? But sometimes it might have just been easier to give it up to a billionaire and be like, I don't know what this is. This is crazy. Just, yeah, get me the money and let's just keep it moving. So, yeah, I don't know. I can see both sides. But again, like you said, if you birthed it, I mean, whether it takes 9 months or 9 hours, I mean, it's still yours, right?
Then it was like what? Like 43 or something. I know it was like in the 40s. Like how many women gave birth?
Oh something. Yeah. There's 43 women.
Yeah, and he only got like 7 of them. So it's like now there's like watching this whole first 2 episodes and like all of them, like not all, but like one supposedly has abilities, and I'm like, okay, so what about those other 30 something women and their freaking kids? Do they also have abilities? Or was it just like these 6?
Kind of makes sense. But yeah, there's 7, but one of them doesn't have abilities, so maybe there's other ones that don't have abilities, but you'd assume there'd have to be other ones that do.
Yeah.
I mean, there would just have to be. But yeah, the billionaire wants the babies. He gets up 7 of them, and I mean, I actually think there'd be more than 7 women in that crazy situation, just all weirded out and willing to give it up for a price because, most people have their price. But
Mhm.
yeah, honestly, with something as bizarre as that, yeah, I think more women would get paid. But back to present day, and their names seem to be the number in which they got collected. And number one is also called Luther, and seems to have like an abnormal large back. And for some reason, he's living in space or on the moon, or that was kind of weird. Like, did you think he was on another planet, or what were you thinking about Luther right out of the gate?
First, I'm like, "What's up with the whole suit thing?" And then the moment he like walked out the trailer, I'm like, "Oh, so he has to be like in space." And we see it just zooms out, and he's out there. And then later on within the episode, we learn like his father sent him out there. So it's like, what did he want Luther to be in space for?
Exactly. There's so many questions. And then we meet number two, Diego, and he seems to be some kind of hero vigilante. And number three, Allison, looks to be like a glamorous A-lister walking the red carpet. And of course, number four, when you got this many kids, there's got to be one. And we meet Claus, and he comes off as a bit of a crackhead upon first sight. Like, he's just getting out of rehab, and he is barely out the door, and he's already scoring his next high. So he's going to be on one. Like, he's going to be an interesting character.
So
But then
far, he's like my favorite out of bias because I've seen that actor in the TV series The Misfits. And on that show, he was like my favorite. So instantly, I was just drawn to him.
is that the one with Ramsey in it too?
Yes, it is.
Man, I gotta watch that. Our brother Johnny kept telling me to watch that one, and I
Yep.
just
If
haven't gotten
you
around to
love
it.
him in the Umbrella Academy, you'll definitely love him in The Misfits.
Oh, that's awesome. What's up? We got the lovely AK Watch out there in the chat. We got Living My Rhapsody, Peter Griffin. What's good, everybody? Good to see you. Good to see you. Jake Cruz in the house. What's up? What's up? Oh man, you guys all get in this watch. This is just crazy. So, Jake says, "Whoops." I guess I can go to the other one. Jake says on Sunday I binged watched Inhumans. It was pretty good. I think I saw Inhumans like the first episode, and then I saw the episode, and I was just like, like,
I'm surprised you passed the first episode. Oh my gosh.
yeah, that was wild. Yeah, Ramsey, not so much in that one. Holy shnikes, that was crazy. But Allison gets the news while she's on the red carpet that her father died, and Claus hears about it while getting high in the back of an ambulance. And even Luther seems to have received the message way out there in space. So everybody gets the message and heads on home. And last we meet is number 7, Vanya. She's been playing the opening music montage on her violin, and she finds out about her father's death on a TV while walking home. So this is kind of crazy. And first of all, like, how creepy were those portraits of the kids in mass, like back at their house? And second, why were there only like 6 kids in the pic? Where's the 7th one?
Yeah,
Like,
I was saying the same thing when the portraits. First, I saw the picture, and it was like I believe it had like 7 kids there, or was it 6?
it had
And
6.
then the portrait like was changed. Then with the portrait was like 6, and then it was like to 5. And I'm like, why is constantly decreasing?
Yeah, then it went to 4. I'm like, are they dying off? Or but then we've already seen 5 of them seemingly still
Hmm.
alive, so they didn't die off. So I mean,
Then in the beginning, you only saw like 5 of them. So it's
Mhm.
like what happened with the other 2?
Exactly. And then Vanya returns home, and it seems as if she's been estranged for some time. Like, Diego doesn't seem happy to see his sister at all, but Allison welcomed her with open arms. So seems like there's a few problems within problems inside this family.
Dysfunctional family got powers. We have to have something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Egos. And then it seems like Diego's a little salty with all his siblings, as he gives Luther a bit of the business upon their first reunion too. And I'm instantly torn. We're like the kids in the pictures, like were the kids in the pictures are dead, and that's why we only see 6, 5, 4 of them, or like did they just get sick of them and leave? Like, I just had a lot of questions right out of the gate with all this stuff coming at me. And then either way, Diego seems to have as much disdain for him as he does his siblings, and yet like he must have cared a little since he's already checked on all the things that Lucifer's looking into. So he's acting like he kind of hated his dad, but he must have had some love for him if he's already looking into what might have happened to him or what the problem was.
Luther or Diego?
Diego, because Diego had already beaten Luther there, and he's like, he already had the autopsy report. He had already
Yeah.
looked through all the stuff. He saw there's no breaking of an entering. So he'd already done all the stuff that Luther's doing, and Luther's doing it out of love. So, I mean, Diego must have loved his father in some way.
That or he's covering his tracks. It's like a part of me is like, it could be Diego who did it, but I don't know if the show is like pulling a red herring and want to make it like too obvious. Because out this whole first episode, it's like you really didn't like your father, so did you kill him? And then how the end of the episode, he has that monocle. The same thing that was brought up by Luther. He said, like, when did you not seen father with the monocle before?
You know,
Like, so
that means
it
it was
just draws
personal.
questions there.
Yep, that
I
means it
do
was
agree
personal.
what AK was saying. Like the father was a jerk. He should never have been charged with the children. And like he never even gave the children names. He just gave them numbers so he wouldn't be too attached to them. But at the same time, you have Luther saying, "Oh, we can like what is it? Spread his ashes near like the tree because that was like where him and his father would like talk and something." So it's like, so did he have some type of relationship with the kids or just select few of them?
Like
Like
that's
it's
just it. Did he have a tighter bond with number one because he was the first and he was kind of in charge? And maybe it's not how, the number they collected him. Maybe it's the number and the importance to him that he thought they were.
mhm.
So yeah, I mean, maybe he did spend a little bit more time with number one. But yeah, Hargrave was definitely a jerk and should have been in charge of children, and that's why he tried to make the mother. But yeah, that was just, I mean, obviously the way like they all came in to say goodnight to him, the kids all had love to him, and he never even looked up from his desk and couldn't be bothered to stop his work, not for 10 seconds to say goodnight to your children. Like, so that we kind of see right there what kind of man he was and how much love he
Mhm.
had for him. Jake Cruz says, I thought the story was decent, didn't care for the Ramsey character, but I thought a few stories working. I think he's still talking about the Inhumans. Diego and Luther are my least favorite. They make me roll my eyes too much. I can see that. I can see that. How come no more coffee streams? I know I need to get another one up. I actually have a couple in queue. I just never redid them. Dude, I'm up all night regardless, coffee or not. Just the ultimate night owl. I'm definitely going to be up. But as Vonnie's walking through the house, we see the pictures and magazines of the Umbrella Academy, and it started to look like there was some kind of super group when they were kids. And
Mhm.
are we thinking all these kids must have some kind of special skill by now? Like Diego seems to be pretty handy with knives. Do you think everybody else has some kind of special skill too?
Yeah, and then we learn like what's her name? Viana or Vanya? Like she had like no abilities. I'm like, that's interesting. I'm surprised that learning that she has no abilities, the father didn't like ship her off or something, and he just kept her. So I'm like, does she have abilities and just like no one remembers? Or he knows is they're dormant or something? Because he's literally performing tests on them like day and night, day and night. So it's like, why keep her around?
And obviously, like, I mean, we find out that he did have love for her, and Vanya pulls a book off the shelf about her called Extraordinary. And like I said, it makes it sounds like she may not have any powers. So maybe that's why he did love her because, you know, she's the one that did have no powers and she's just a regular human. So I don't know, maybe that more human touch. I don't know. But she's then met by Pogo, and I was like, wait a minute, is this a talking monkey in a suit and tie? Like, what is going on in this show? And just how far down the rabbit hole is she going to take us? Like, oh man, this is just wild. And it seems we haven't met Five yet because he disappeared 16 years, 4 months, and 14 days ago. So, I
Mhm.
mean, being that kind of direct, it almost seems like maybe we might get another appearance from him or something's going to happen with that guy.
And I was wondering, like, okay, with Five disappearance, my first thought was whoever killed the father, did in the past, did they also kill number five? That was like my first instance.
Yeah, I mean, you got to ask these kind of questions right out of the gate. AK says there's a very specific reason he gave the kids numbers he did, and it's infuriating. You'll see. Uh-oh. Looks
Oh,
like we got something
uh-oh.
to tell him. Oh, I'm sorry. Haven't watched this show yet. I'll be ready by next week. Oh, there we go. Yep. Got to binge watch. And actually, this kind of show you'll be happy you get to binge watch 4 in a row because it's fun. It is a fun one. I actually watched first season. I haven't seen the second season. I watched the first season, but it was like two
Oh.
years ago, so I've forgotten more than I remember about this show. But Claus and Allison meet up for what seemed like the first time in years, and it seems like none of the kids basically look back upon their father fondly. Like most of them are just glad that he wasn't their real dad. So we see there were some issues when they were younger right out of the gate. And it seems Claw's superpower is like being able to commune with the dead. It also seems that's why he stays high all the time. Like it must, I mean, it must sever the ties somehow and give him some peace to be able to stay high. But can you imagine just constantly being haunted like straight ghost style?
Honestly, I wouldn't blame him. Like after I like learned like the reason of like why he's either high or drunk all the time, I'm like, all right, that makes kind of sense. Because it's like imagine someone close to you dies and then you're constantly just seeing that person there, but it's like they're not really there, they're dead, or just like a murderer or something, or just like you're trying to sleep or being at peace, just like chilling watching TV and just like dead people just constantly just come at you, bother you for all we know. But then of all, then near the end of the episode, we see one of them a certain person that visits him. I'm like, wow, so this person like visits you, but not the father yet. So it's like, at what point in the season are we actually gonna like see the father and get the whole reveal of who killed him?
Absolutely. And I mean, if he can talk to the dead, he should be able to figure it out. So that's pretty tight.
And that's one reason why I don't think it's Diego, because if so, Diego would know or try to like at least keep Klaus drunk or drugged up so he doesn't commune with his father who knows who killed him.
That's true. Absolutely. And I mean, because it sounds like even when he's sleeping, like they're coming at him. So, I mean, he gets no peace, which is just, yeah, you either stay high and wasted or you kill yourself because you would go nuts in that situation. But how amazing was that? That it was Tiffany's I Think We're Alone Now was like all their theme song and they're all just busting a move. Like, dude, when Luther dropped the needle and they all started hitting it, I was dying. I was like, this show is going to be amazing. As the song's winding down, something strange is happening outside, and through some sort of black hole or temporal anomaly, number 5 squeezes his way back through, and he has not aged a bit. And we're like, all right, we're here, we get another one. And he's also very blasé for someone that's been gone for 17 odd years. Like, I'd be like, get your little ass back here. You got some splaining to do. Like, what is this cat thinking? And then he's
Like, and it's interesting. Like they keep calling him number 5, and he doesn't have like a regular name. And I think it was either this episode or episode 2. We learned like their quote unquote mother gave them their names, and it's like at what point in time did they give them their names that he wasn't there yet? Because I think he was like what 13. So it's like, was it after this event they got names, or what? Is my question.
Yeah, see, just one more they needed to answer. CJ Cruz says, I wouldn't talk to dead people. I could barely stand the living. Oh, Klaus's power would drive me to drink and be high all the time, too. That is scary shit. Yeah, exactly. There's no way you could just handle that sober. That would be just too much for anybody to handle, I think. But he spoke of a Dolores who said this might happen. And any guesses, or like, is it just too soon guessing on who Dolores might be? Because he was talking like he was the last person on Earth. So how did he meet a Dolores if he was the last person on Earth?
I was saying the same thing, but same time, it's like you're dealing with time travel. So it's like, did he go back in time yet again, or what?
Yeah,
Then the second episode happened. I'm like, I'm even more confused.
And it sounds like number 6, Ben, may have actually died. Number 5 asked number 7 if it was bad, and she said yeah. And we see from when they were younger, like his power was basically turning into some kind of squid monster that ripped people to shreds. So,
Yeah.
man, what happened to this poor cat? Like, and he didn't seem happy to do it either. Like, it didn't seem like he
No.
was a big fan of his superpower.
And what's weird is that in that whole bank heist, like 6 of them came out, but then Danielle was like on the roof with the father. But it's like, what the hell is Klaus gonna do in a bank robbery? The only thing he could do is like like talk to the dead.
Exactly. Like, all you gotta do is go up here and get shot. Like, yeah, what are you thinking? Or try to mess with one of her heads, like, hey, your mom says hi, or I don't know. That's just wild. Yeah, what is Klaus gonna do exactly? And they all head out to spread their dad's ashes, but when it's time to like say a few words, no one has shit to say. Like, they just leave it to the talking monkey to speak some kind words. So they
The
must
one who did it.
he said, the one who did it. I got my eyes on you, monkey. Oh, and he said, also, what's up with the mom? Like, is she just catatonic because her husband just died?
The
Like,
moment
we
I
can't
saw that, I'm like, you just have to be like an android or something. 'Cause it looks like she hasn't aged a day post the other flashback when when the kids want to say goodnight to their father. So I'm like, either you got some good skin or you're just a robot.
Oh, that's amazing pickup right there. That's a great call. And they can't have even made it through the funeral, of course, without fighting one another. And like, just how messed up is this fractured family? Like, it seems like it goes deep. And we find out Diego doesn't like Vanya because she wrote a book spilling the family secrets. But why does he have so much hate for Luther? Just jealousy, maybe?
He probably was like the favorite, maybe.
That could have been just a jealousy type thing. And do you think the father had like any love for any of these children, or were they just all some elaborate lab experiment?
I think it's a bit of both. Some twisted dysfunctional way, he probably did like them, but at the same time, it was a lab experiment. Or unless there was like something else, because like him and what's his name? It wasn't Ben, number 5, because they were talking about time travel and stuff, and he was just so keen about finding these kids. It's like, did he know about the end of the world and was trying to like stop it or something, or some other event? Like, I don't know. It's something about that. I'm just like, still high key sus.
One more to put on the board. One more question we need answered. And when Vanya left, that monkey gave an auspicious look. Like you're already saying, do we think he might have had something to do with the father's death? And you're already saying Pogo did it. So I get it. And he's not helping himself with them auspicious looks he's giving these kids. So I don't know. But the kids all seem to go their own separate ways, and we see why the mom's so weird. She is actually a robot, and it looks like this guy was a true engineer genius, but I don't know. I don't think Batman had shit on this guy. It seems like he was putting all sorts of crazy shit together.
Has a freaking android and a talking monkey. They need to explain this Pongo situation now.
I'm telling you, is he an android too? This just makes no sense. And speaking of having nothing on him, how sick is number 5? Like, my man just wanted like a decent cup of Joe, but had to put on it like he had to put out in a seemingly not so elite force. And like, I don't know, that poor waitress being left to deal with all that was a nightmare. I mean, she's just there trying to make a few dollars, comes out to like 15 dead bodies. Like, that was crazy. But we see number 5's got some skills.
Yeah, he's pretty much like the Nightcrawler.
Yeah, exactly. And like, how much is he holding back? Like, why would he have this entire squad from the future chasing him? Like, he said the future sucks. Is he in some way maybe the cause of the future sucking so bad?
Maybe.
So many questions. And then we flash out to Diego, and we see he does have his dad's monocle. And like, does that mean he's the cause of his father's death? Because that's kind of what Luther was hinting at.
That's what I thought, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's possible like he was probably like the last other person to see his father before he dies, is my guess.
Absolutely. Oh man, quick side note. Oh, R.I.P. Dolphins. They gave it a hell of a shot. And you were a true fan saying they were going to pull that one out, Jake. Man, they should have won that one. Back to the subject. Oh, why is every superhero show trying to end the world? Because, you got superpowers. Power causes conflict. I mean, you heard my man Vision. AK says, no, Def Lab experiment for him. He was also clout chasing, in her opinion. Like, he wanted to have his own super team and be famous for it. I mean, yeah, he's an eccentric billionaire, but I mean, it seems like he had to get these kids and put this team together for a reason. So I don't know. It's like, did he know the end of the world was coming, or did he have some privileged knowledge that we haven't found out about yet? Hopefully we will find out. And Klaus tells Diego to hurry up. They're hungry. And I'm like, wait a minute, who's we? And then they pan over, and in the back seat, we see someone sitting with him. But that someone disappears when Diego gets in the car. And we're like, who is that? But we soon find out that it is indeed Ben, number 6. Because, of course, number 4 can communicate with the dead. Like, again, what a creepy superpower that would be. But also pretty advantageous. Like, I'd be calling on dead pirates asking where their buried loot is. I ain't lying. I'd put it to work. I would absolutely put it to work. But Vanya makes it home to find number 5 waiting in her dark apartment, and it seems the Sibs definitely have like sectored off into favorites. Like, it seems Vanya and 5 are close, and it looks like Diego, Claus, and Ben see each other more than the others. And it also kind of seemed like Luther and Allison may have had even more than a sibling's love for each other. Like, I don't know. I thought I saw some lingering looks going on, and they were holding hands through more than one scene. Like, what do you think about all that?
I was saying the same thing, especially in the second episode. And I'm just like, is it legal or is it not legal? Are they like really like siblings, or like who's the true father here? And only it's like what 43 kids, and is it okay or not? That's my question.
Interesting situation. And then we get number 5 telling Vanya she's the only one he can trust, and also the only one who will listen because she's ordinary. And like, that has to sting every time she hears some shit like that, especially coming from her siblings. And then
Hmm.
Five tells her sort of that the world's coming to an end in 8 days, and he has no idea how to stop it. And the episode ends with Vanya saying she'll put on a pot of coffee, and I like, what else do you say to that? Like, just how intrigued does this show have you right out of the gate in episode 1?
And it's interesting how when he jumped into the future, it's to like, the end of the world. Any point in time it could have done, but it's like the end of the world. So it's like, why?
Well, he
Specific.
just kept going farther and farther, and like the
Mhm.
dad said, it's like it's jumping into the abyss down a slippery slope. So basically, he just slipped right out to the end, and now all of a sudden he had no way back, didn't know how to get back. Which what a terrifying feeling that would be.
Mhm.
Oh, a quick trivia for episode 1: how long ago did number 5 disappear?
16 years.
To be exact, 16 years, 4 months, and 14 days. But we're gonna give that to you one. Excellent, excellent. If you know the answer, put it in the chat. If you're watching this later, put it in the comments down below. What's the talking monkey's name?
Pongo.
Incorrect. It's Pogo.
What? Same difference. Potato.
Pogo. It's my man Pogo. How long ago was 5 gone in his version of time? How long was 5 gone in his version of time?
Was it like 54 years?
That is incorrect.
Dang. I know he's in his 50s. So it has to be like 40 something then. 46?
AK says technically they weren't related. They were all adopted from different parents.
But my
So
question is the father, though, AK. This is the Immaculate Conception stuff right here.
right, exactly. Oh, nope, that was incorrect, but getting closer. If you know that answer, put it in the chat or in the question down below. When did 5 say the world would end?
In 8 days.
Oh man, you are crushing this one. Job well, you must have felt the trivia coming on.
You're asking the right questions, man.
Oh, he said he must. I tried to make him not all about names on this one, so everybody have a chance. All right, last question. What is Allison's superpower?
Oh, glamour. Or rumor. There we go, rumor.
She can basically tell people what to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. Looks like AKs were killing it too. 8 days, absolutely. 60 something was incorrect, but Pogo was, of course, correct. And we're going to keep it moving. Keep it moving. That was episode 1. Going to knock that one out and turn it to episode 2, the Umbrella Academy season 1, episode 2. It's called Run Boy Run, and it makes sense when you see what's going on. In this episode, opens showing the absolute disciplined father demanding like all the discipline he demanded. Like he was extremely strict, and actually like he had a dinner bell to call everyone to the table, and no one could even sit down until he told them to. So he ran an extremely strict camp. Like, I don't know, this guy sounds like he was almost a Nazi, just too harsh. And what weird ass like mountain death climb was that record talking about? Like, were you hearing the words in that record was playing in the background?
Nope. I was too focused on the whole time travel thing. It's like one thing is just him, teleporting here and there, but then it's just the follows are already like 2 steps ahead. Like, well, if you can just like jump, like how about jumping through time and space? I was like, what? And he's only 13.
Yeah, man, just too long. Yeah, 5 wants to time travel, but Sir Reginald says it's just way too dangerous and he's not ready. But 5, being the spoiled brat that he is, doesn't listen and runs outside to the music of the name of the episode, Run Boy Run. We see right out of the gate where they get it. And it seems like Reggie was right because 5 runs too far into the future, like we are talking about, and he's out of time. And now it seems like he's the last human alive, or so he said last episode. Like, why do we think he wasn't able to run back?
I don't know, because even in this episode, like near the end, we see like his like abilities have like stamina. Because at one point, like he's able to like teleport throughout like that whole what was it mall, whatever, or department store, and then suddenly like he couldn't. So it's like it's something with his stamina.
There you go. I get it. I like that. Yep, Jake, that was all in one episode, and we're just now hitting episode 2. Absolutely. So you'll be knowing when you watch it, and I'll catch that. Also, how fucked up are those kids at 5 asked the question by stabbing the table with a knife? Yeah, he just spoiled rotten. We see that right out of the gate.
Also, like he mentions Ben and Venya first. It's like it seems like those are the 2 like he's closest to when he was like calling out for names, and then his father.
Yep, exactly. And that's who he came when he came back. Like that's who he kind of had some alone time with was Vanya, and then we see whose apartment he ran to. So,
Mm.
like I was saying last time, that thing they all sectored off and all had each other's favorites.
But it was questionable because then they said like when it came to Venya, like the father always like separated them, at least her from everyone else. So it's like he must have just stuck away and just like formed a bond with her.
Yeah, exactly. When they weren't all in training or whatever. And while he's telling Vanya the story, he says he did whatever we had to do to survive. I was like, wait, I thought he said he was alone. So again, who's we? And then can you imagine like your long lost brother shows up after 17 years and tells you the world's gonna end in 8 days? Like that would be a lot to process, especially for her pill popping ass. Like that's the other thing I noticed. Like, why is she always popping so many pills?
To suppress her abilities, man.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm thinking.
It has to be right. Like she seems normal enough. She doesn't have any like age, like back pains or whatever. Like, why is this girl always popping so many pills? Like, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, she's suppressing something. Come on. And then Seven heads to bed while Five pulls an eyeball out of his pocket and like, just what is this man child into? Got like bloody eyes in his pocket and shit.
I
Like,
thought it was from like one of the security guys or something, but not the security guys, the people that he killed in the previous episode. I guess not.
oh man, just absolutely. That kid says, like, kid, you couldn't just wait till after the dinner to raise. It's like, why are you interrupting the meal, son? Oh, we then meet what seem to be two bounty hunters hot on the trail of Five, and they look like they're like hired to take him out. So they're also not happy with all the budget cuts they have to deal with lately. So I don't know, kind of a comedy relief team, but I don't know. These two are definitely going to be a problem. Luther wakes up and finds Allison still there, and while talking, she says she thinks there's a reason he never left. And did being named like number one make him feel like he always had to be the leader of this pack, like better than the rest of them?
I don't know. Like, I need to know more about like the reason why this person's called number one and number two and such. Because we might assume like he's like number one for being like the leader, or like was he just like the first one that the father got? Like, what's the true reason behind these numbers?
Yeah, or is it a reverse order and he's just like the first most expendable because all he is big? Like, oh, if we need
Mm-hmm.
to get rid of somebody, you're the first one out. McCloud looks like his life is a living hell. Like he can't even close his eyes without hearing the dead call out for his help. And I'm pretty sure anyone dealing with that would either kill themselves, like I said, or just be the big junkie that he is. Like there's no way you could get around that. That would be a nightmare. It also sounds like the contents that were in that box he stole from his father's office were pretty important. That's definitely going to come into play, isn't it?
Boxing?
Remember he stole his father's box and he
Oh
threw the
yeah.
papers into the dumpster, and now the monkey's asking for it like they were super important papers. So
Hence why I think Pogo killed him, man. Those that's literally evidence that will incriminate him.
he says he didn't want that evidence out there. It looks like Five has gone looking for the info on his eyeball. Like he should have been smarter than that, thinking he could just walk and talk and bully his way into this place that he wanted. Like what? He seems so much smarter than that. I was like, what is this scene? That was just crazy when he was at the doctor trying to demand information about that eyeball. It's like, come on.
Remember,
Obviously,
isn't his mind like of was it 50-year-old or 60-year-old?
yeah. I don't know. He should have. I don't know. He should have been smarter than that. And then back at the station, the detective decides to let Diego go, and there was definitely some sexual tension going on there. Like, did these two used to be a thing, or was it just a casual booty call? Because it seems like there's still something there between the detective and Diego.
A bit of both, man. A bit of both.
Luther goes looking for Diego and finds he's living in the boiler room of some old rundown gym. So he's starting to think like, oh, maybe he's not so much. And Vanya tracks down Five back at the house, and he tells her that he just wants to sleep. And I'm like, the world ends in 8 days, and this kid that just got back just wants to sleep. Like, I don't know. But they just play it off like his mind is messing with him from the time travel. But I don't know. Just something is off about Five.
There is always something off about him because he knows too much.
Yeah.
Except who did the murder
Yeah.
and who ended the world. It's like two things, and he knows they're connected.
And he doesn't even seem to really care about the dad. He's like, the wheel of time. You know, people live, people die. Like he didn't seem to care about it at all. Which is kind of
Or
wild.
he's just lying.
Yeah, maybe he jumped back. Maybe he just made it look like it was hard to get back. Maybe he jumped back, killed the dad, jumped out, and then now it's just coming back. Maybe he's a little evil bastard that we don't even know about. But Vanya leaves, and Claus comes out of the armoire that he was hiding in, and Five is going to pay him to act like his dad, and they head back to see that doctor, and Claus put on quite a show. Like, it works, and they get the info that they came for, which was nothing. Like, this guy gave them everything they wanted, and it basically amounted to nothing. So it's like, I guess we found out that he's too early, and basically that it hadn't been sold, but I don't know, it seems like they're putting a lot into this scene for nothing to come of it.
Yeah, until like the end of the episode, when you learn like the person who had that eye seems to like killed everyone else. At least not everyone else, but at least Luther, possibly. Who knows? Because like near the end, it's like why he had that eye in his hand.
Right, exactly. Like, yeah, maybe that person did, or maybe, yeah, who knows? Maybe Luther had stolen it from Five somehow, and yeah, who knows? We're just so many more. Got so many more questions and answers that we got going on. But the doc said the eye hadn't been purchased yet, and like, why not? If he wants to know so bad, why not just sit there and watch and wait to see who comes for the eye? Like wherever they sell them at, why not just go there and wait to see who comes for it? Seems like that would have been an easy out.
But then it's like how many days they said it's like what in 7 more days, so it's like it's been closer to the due date. I think. I don't know. Maybe I got to rewatch that scene of like at what point does the eye get created? So it's like it's been like even more days to just even wait.
AK says, yep, Luther pushes himself to overcompensate because he was raised to be the leader of the group. So that he says that's why he's number one. What's up, Lindar? I see you out there. Good to see you. Welcome back. Have you watched the Crazy Umbrella Academy? Oh,
yep, she has, and it's one of her faves.
Oh, has she?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Oh, yep, there she goes right there. Says, love the show. Yeah, absolutely. This is a wild one. I can't wait to get through this and get into season 2 because, yeah, it's amazing. We then hear a bit more about Five's past love, and he seems to really miss her. But again, didn't he say that he was the last human?
Mm-hmm.
A little wild. And then Vanya gets a new student who's a bit older than her usual students are. And I didn't know why, but that guy just kind of gave me the creeps. Like my spidey senses were instantly going nuts about this guy.
Which guy?
The guy that came in to get violin lessons from Vanya.
Oh, yeah. It's like, yeah, another high-key suspect character.
I don't know about this guy.
And I think he invited her, right, to like his place or something. Or
yeah, it's all quick and weird. Like, I wanted to invite her over to look at his wood. Like, wait a minute. It's like, I got a wood shop. It's like, I don't know you. I'm not coming anywhere to go look at your wood. So it's like, who are you, creepy? Yeah, creepy McCreeperston. I don't know. That guy was a trip. But it's looking like Diego can't be the one who killed his dad because he had a bout and was fighting the night that his father died. So do we have any other guesses on who the killer may be?
So my guess is the father visited him during this whole fight thing. They had an altercation, hence why he has the monocle. And now he feels kind of like upset because the last time he spoke to his father was that altercation he had like after that fight, and boom, he died. That's my guess.
Or when he went to go get the autopsy, he just grabbed the monocle from his father's dead body.
Oh, that too.
Who knows? Who knows? I think they got to touch on it and tell us. But then again, like, why did he grab it and then just throw it into the ocean? Like, that was weird.
It's evidence, man, because Luther said it. He's like, when are you not teaming out this monocle? He's like, oh, shoot. So let me just like get rid of this.
Let me just get rid of the evidence.
Or Pogo put it in his freaking pocket, man.
Oh, Pogo had the sleight of paw and just slipped it in there. He's like, wait a minute, how did I get this? He's like, oh, you ain't setting me up. So he just throws the evidence in the sea. Oh, man, that'd be sweet. And speaking of things like not being what they seem, like Vanya's new student seems to be just, I don't know, that was just a little bit too much of a quinkadink. Like, especially when he started talking about his dead father and their complicated relationship. Like, this man just seems false to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then what kind of line, like I said, is you should come check out my wood sometime, like trying to get her back to her wood shop. I'm like, man, I don't like this guy. But back at the house, Pogo shows Allison her father's Creepers Peepers room, and instead of being mad, she found it comforting. Like,
that was weird.
Right?
That was weird. I'm like, your father pretty much was like watching every moment, and even like within the flashback, even show like as you guys were sleeping, he was literally putting, I forgot what they called them, oh my gosh, things slipped my mind, but the freaking brainwaves thing, I forgot what it is. Was it an EEG something or whatever? Yeah, on their heads while they were sleeping, and it's like,
yeah.
I'm just like, that's creepy. Like invasion of privacy here.
Oh yeah, it was nuts. Everything about that was just crazy. But yet she finds it comforting, which again is just kind of weird. So Five decides to visit the address that the tow truck gave him, and it's a department store. And like, just when I think this show can't get any weirder, we meet the woman Five spent over 30 years with, Dolores, and she's a mannequin. I was like, it oddly made sense, but I was like, are you kidding me?
I hope not. I hope the mannequin looks like the actual Dolores. That's my hope. If not, bro, how long were you alone? To the point that it's like, this is her. This is like the love of my life, Dolores. Oh my gosh. Like, really? Just
Wow.
really?
Hey,
Like, if you
30
was like
years,
a 5-year-old, I'd be like one thing. But you were a 13-year-old fantasizing with a mannequin.
a 13-year-old that lived to be like 50 something by himself. I mean, you got to talk to somebody to keep yourself sane, even if it is yourself to another man. I don't know, but yeah, that was just wild. And
Then
I was like,
again, you have what's the Tom Cruise? Was it Tom Cruise who was on the island and he was talking to that
oh,
valuable?
Tom Hanks,
Oh, Tom, excuse me, I said Tom
Castaway.
Cruise for it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you keep yourself sane. You just find an object and act like it's real. So have some conversations to keep yourself sane and talking. But how come again? How come he couldn't jump when he was trying to leave? Like those guys were after him. Like, does he only have so many jumps before he needs a recharge, or you thought it was like his adrenaline ran out?
Yeah, that's my guess of it. Because even like when he like teleported through time travel, it seemed like he couldn't like jump anymore. Because again, like all that stamina just like jumping through time. It seemed like when he first was doing it first 2 times, maybe it was like a day or like a few hours or even a season, and then it just jumped completely like years later.
Exactly, trying to keep up. Yeah, that's wild. Peter Griffin says Wilson. Oh, every born rich person I've ever met is weird. It could be a little different lifestyle. He's like, come on, AK's got it right. You're on the planet alone for decades. Like, what would you do? He's like, we got to cut him a little bit of slack for that one.
So
Absolutely.
you think I was gonna be talking to my phone calls now?
Absolutely. You got to do what you got to do. Oh, Jake said he just watched Castaway 2 days ago. He's fresh on that one. Oh, man. But yeah, that is just wild. And then Five makes it back home where Allison and Luther see that he's been through it. And like Luther asks if he can help. And we get a quick flashback like you were talking about. And we see like it was dead Luther holding that eye, the eye that Five's been looking into. And we also see that he found all his siblings dead lying in that rubble. So were they trying to stop whatever or whoever ended the world, do you think, right then?
Yeah, it seems like it. It seems like it's possible. Well, for all we know, number 5 could have been at that rubble. Honestly, when you think about it. So if he ends up failing, so this could just be an I wouldn't say a time loop, but just like going again and again, just hoping he'll just get it right or whatever. But then we realized that these two people, what's their freaking name? I think was it Cha Cha and something else is her name. Freaking Hazel, there we go. Hazel and Cha Cha. They were like carrying.
Oh, that's
Cha
one of
Cha
the
was
theories.
like he was carrying that briefcase. I was like, what the hell is this briefcase? And then he was talking about like, oh, I guess they use that briefcase to time travel. So it's like, okay, so they can time travel, obviously. But then they mention like number 5 as if they worked with him before. But then number 5 is like he's like one of the last human beings, and he mentions the lore. So it's like, at one point, does he time travel again? And he just not aware of this yet? Because again, since he can time travel, it's gonna be a whole timey-wimey thing with this character.
Yeah, time travel. It just gets so confusing, and anything can happen. And where's he at? And why is he doing it? And why can he only do certain ones? And oh,
Because
so many more
in the
questions.
when they were examining that bullet, they mentioned like, oh, we were able to like get the print off of some type of cold case. It was like 1938, so it's like he had to try and travel all the way back to 1938 at one point and killed someone.
Absolutely, and maybe that's probably the person that he got the eye from. You would think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Linda says DJ and Phantom. Don't forget to talk about the music. Oh, we talked about the Tiffany. I think we're alone now, but yeah, they definitely have the callback from the '80s and some great cuts, the one hit wonders, and better ones. Like everything about this show is just absolutely amazing. Like, so it's got you pretty much hook, line, and sinker right out of the gate.
Yep.
Oh,
Can't wait till when I have a day off. Sunday, probably gonna watch like the next episode 3 and 4.
awesome. Definitely gonna be getting back into that. Also, kudos to Mary J. Blige playing a time agent assassin. Absolutely. Girl can sing, act, do it all. Oh, it's a family affair. Hey, hey. He's like, yes, fandom, love, cherish, and talk to your Cersei Funko often. Oh, Linda R says, I can cook. Oh, but yeah, definitely love the music, love the show, love the plot so far. So many questions. I mean, I just can't wait to get it in. Like, yeah, this is a good one. Get on that, Jake. Make sure you get that watched. And yeah, we'll definitely, you said Sunday you'll probably get it watched. So just be back on next Tuesday and get the next 2 in.
Yep.
Excellent, excellent. All right, real quick trivia time. I'm going to try to knock it out. Let's get it. Fandom just said the names. Can you remember? What are the names of the 2 agents on the hunt for 5? Fandom just said it. Can you remember? If you know the answer, write it in the chat later. If you're watching this, write it in the comments down below. What are the names of the 2 agents on the hunt for 5? Hey, what was the name of the man on the record talking about climbing the mountain?
No idea.
That creepy ass record they were playing at dinner. What was the name of the man that was his voice was on that record? That's a deep cut right there. What room did the clerk give the 2 bounty hunters? What room number did the clerk give the 2 bounty hunters?
Number 5.
That is incorrect. What room did the clerk give the 2 bounty
Hey,
hunters?
that would have been a good guess since they were like looking for 5 and the room would have been
amazing.
number 5.
That would have been an amazing time. Oh man, there we go. There we go.
And they even said like they were hunting their own. So number 5 at one point, when he went back in time, he had to work with their organization. Or he started the organization.
Oh my God. AK, did you really get that? Or did you tell me the truth? Did you Google that or did you really nail that? Because that's amazing if you nailed that. That is an amazing call. That's the man on the record. Holy shnikes. If you called that, and of course we already just heard that one, so good recall on the Hazel and the Patch. Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, what type of gun was every member of the hit squad packing?
What was the question?
What type of gun was every member of that hit squad packing that came in and tried to take out 5 in the donut shop?
MK40?
Ooh, close. Close. They have a little different name for it, but that is very close. If you know the answer, put it in the chat or down below in the comments. What was the waitress at the donut shop's name? Had to get one name in there. What was the waitress at the donut shop's name?
No idea. I was going to ask us what's the name of the donut shop.
What's that?
I was wondering if he was going to ask what's the name of the donut shop.
Oh, no, didn't get that one. Oh, Linda says I never remember trivia. Oh, we got to have a little fun with it. Oh, got that. I knew you'd ask. Oh, she already said. I'm starting to see how you ask questions. I knew it was coming. Oh, 45. Machine gun. Incorrect, but kind of close. What was the name of the detective in charge of the crime scene? What was the detective name that was in charge of the crime scene? Got that put in the thing. What did the detective say Diego gave her?
A headache? Migraine?
Oh, that's a good guess. What did the detective say Diego gave her? And keeping it moving. What was 5's girlfriend's name back in time?
Dolores.
There you go. Back on track. Nice, easy one to get him back on. How long did 5 say he was with his gal pal in the past? How long did 5 say him and Dolores were together in the past?
50 years?
That is incorrect. Good guess, but incorrect. Oh, shit. That's so funny. Shit, I can't even remember her name. That's awesome. Oh, AK trying to knock it down. Look at her. She's like, I was ready for this trivia today. Let me just tell you, I was ready for this trivia today. Good job. Excellent job. Nailed it. How long did Claus say his longest relationship was? How long did our man Claus say his longest relationship was?
3 months?
That is an excellent guess, but incorrect.
3 weeks? 3 days?
I gotta quit giving you clues. Oh man, good job. Whoa, almost lost one. If you know that answer, put it in the chat or down below in the comments. How long did whoops, what great dish did Claus' longest relationship make? What great dish did Claus say his longest relationship used to make?
Ravioli?
That is incorrect, and 1 year is incorrect. Absolutely. He said he used to make this fabulous dish. What was it? If you know that answer, put it in the chat or down below later. And last but not least, what is Vanya's neighbor's cat's name? What is
No
the
idea.
name of the cat Vanya's neighbor owns? Anybody remember the kitty? Anybody remember the kitty? She says he's not here. Not here. What was Vanya's neighbor's cat's name? If you know that answer, put it in the chat. If not, down below. But once again, I'm just like Fandom. I remember the first time I loved it. I forgot more than I remember, like I was saying, and I'm having a blast rewatching it and can't wait to get through it and get to get to season number 2. But all in, can't wait to do it. We're going to be back on next Tuesday.
Yep. Unless by chance Thursday could happen. I don't know.
I'll try to get it down, and if you watch it early, let me know. But yeah, one way or the other, we'll be back. I might be back on Thursday, one way or another. And if not, if we get this watched, we'll do it. If not, we will be back on next Tuesday, getting right through season 1 of the Umbrella Academy. I want to thank everybody that made their way through tonight. Hope everybody's having an absolutely fantastic week, and it only gets better from here. Until we see you next time, be easy, everybody.